Hi, this is Thomas Shepard, and this screencast is a part of the MCAS project at Athabasca University. In this tutorial, I will provide you with some information on how to set up your audio hardware devices to work with Audacity. So let's go ahead and do that now. What we're using is a Dell Latitude E6500 laptop with the Vista operating system on it, and we have the 64-bit business edition. What we need to do to set up our audio hardware is basically to go into the control panel to get at our sound properties. Now, in our MCAS project, we have several different audio devices that we use. So at any given time, we need to go in and change those devices according to what we're using to record. So to do that, when we get into control panel, we need to hit hardware and sound option, and we get into the sound part, and it'll show us our devices in the sound dialog box. Now, if you'll look right here, it shows us under the playback tab and the recording tab the devices that we're using to record audio through this computer. Now, at the particular moment, I'm using a Plantronics USB headset and the mic with that to record sound and to hear it through the headphones. So on the playback, you'll notice that the speakers are set for those USB headset. I also have a mobile preamp, which is from mobile pre is from M Audio, and I have purchased as well two MXL 990 mics to record sound. And when I want a better quality sound, for example, if I'm doing a podcast, I'll probably take out those mics and hook them up, and we'll use that for a better quality sound. When I do, I have to enable that because I have it disabled when I'm using other devices, and I have to set that as my default device to use. And I have to also do that over in when I'm doing the recordings over here, so I have to enable and set as default. But as I've already mentioned, I'm not using the pre, so I'm just going to go ahead and disable that, and I'm just going to go ahead and use the headset, Plantronics headset and mic. You'll see some other devices that the laptop with the built-in sound card it has some settings on it that you can use as well. But right now we're using just the Plantronics headset. So that's for our playback sounds of whatever we're going to hear we have set up here, and we can go in and look at the levels, sound levels as well, and set those up. So I usually have them maxed out at 100 because when you go into Audacity, you can control the sound level in Audacity itself. So I'd rather have it at 100 here and minimize or drag it down in Audacity and minimize the sound a little bit when using Audacity. And there's different settings here. Depends on how much of an audiophile you are, but I basically keep it simple and just use the maximum sound. And then I go over, when I've got that set up, I go over to my recording and I do the same thing here. I'm going to disable the mobile pre because we're not using that today. And I'm going to set up the properties on our sound for our mic through our Plantronics headset, and I just got it set at 100. And again, you can go into different advanced settings, but basically the only thing I usually ever do is go into the levels and pop her up to 100, and away we go. So I've got those configured properly, and I've got everything else disabled. Right? So I'm just going to double check here. Disable that. These are all different things that are included with the laptop, for example the sound card and the line in and the internal mic and all that kind of stuff. So we're using the microphone on the Plantronics, so that's set up and away you go. And as you can see, as I'm talking, it gives me a little bit of the sound level on the side, so I'm doing pretty good here. So I'm just going to say OK to that. One more thing before I finish this particular podcast, or this particular screencast, sorry. I would recommend that you set up a shortcut on the desktop to the sound settings, because if you have a couple of devices here that you're going to use all the time, then you're going to need to go in and reset and set them up on a different basis, whatever, depending on what you're doing. So I'd usually right click, drag it over, and hit create shortcut there. So I'll just show you that one more time. I go over to sound settings, drag it over, drop it on the desktop, hit create shortcuts here. And when I do that, it appears on here, and all I need to do then to get into the sound settings is just double click on that. It takes me right to it. That's all for now, and thank you for listening to this particular session, and we'll continue on in the next one.